Hi everyone and welcome to part 2 of Triffin's Founder Story series. I'm Tasha Courtney-Smith and I'm super excited to be joined by a fabulous founder, the wonderful Fiona Toomey from the brand Naydaya. Welcome Fiona. I'm so excited about our conversation today.
Me too. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
Do you want to kick off and tell us all a bit about who you are and what your brand what your brand is and where you've got to?
Yeah, so I'm Fiona. I'm the founder and CEO of Naydaya. So Naydaya is a body care brand supporting women in different phases of life. So I set it up, it's about 5 years old now, which is crazy. And I set it up after I had my babies and I felt really unsupported by kind of the skincare industry. I didn't think any brands were really speaking to me. I kind of feel like beauty and skincare should make you feel good about yourself. And during this kind of big change in my life, I did not feel good about myself. And so that's where it kind of all started. And I really wanted to create products for women that were really supportive and really kind of targeted at different stages of womanhood, really. So from pregnancy right through to menopause.
And like many founders, you weren't from a product background, were you? What had you been doing beforehand?
Not at all. So I was working as a management consultant in IBM, Bearing Point, Warner Brothers. So I was very much kind of like, I was in business, but it wasn't at all anything to do with products. But I always had a bit of a side hustle. I had like a fashion blog. I set up like a craft making business. So there was like definitely a creative like spark in me, but I was just doing a very kind of regular business job. So yeah, it was definitely a shift.
And what was the first product you brought out?
So it was just after I had my 2-3 babies, I brought out a nipple balm and scar savior, and it was very much targeted for postpartum mothers because I just felt like I couldn't find anything on the market that really spoke to me, made me feel good about myself, and also that was like natural, organic, so they were the two products, and that's kind of where it started with. So it was very much targeted for new mothers at the very beginning.
And what I think is fascinating about your story is many founders start with that pain point or something they've experienced themselves. And most brands kind of carry on, but you have pivoted into, well, your hero products are really now in a different niche. Do you want to just share with our audience and viewers what your hero products are in the niche that you're serving?
Yeah. So, as you said, like it started kind of very much with my pain points, but then very organically, we started getting such an influx of women going through different stages of life. So like perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause. And there was a couple of products that really kind of captured their attention. And one of them was our Victory Oil, which is a vulva oil. And it's now our bestseller, and it's really targeted for women going through intimate dryness. And I mean, we did a massive survey recently, and we found that like 82% of all women experience intimate dryness at some point, but very much kind of a lot of women kind of going through the menopause stage. So that's the product that's really kind of held the business in the last couple of years, which has been our bestseller.
Okay, well, we're going to come back to that because this product is a standout product, and really, probably one of the only of its type around, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like pharmaceutical kind of looking brands, and there's a lot of brands then that have a lot of chemicals and like fragrances in their products. So ours is very much, it's very, very simple. It's recommended by gynecologists. A lot of gynecologists sell it in their practices. And it's, we have a lot of like testing, clinical trials for the product as well. So it's been one of our best ones, definitely.
So let's talk about the finances, because obviously we're here today for Triffin, which is a solution that I know you believe passionately within and has really changed how you approach the business. How was the business funded in the start?
So I actually took redundancy, and I just after I had my kids, and I actually put all of that money, not a big pot, but a pot into the business. Okay. So I funded the business myself and kind of got it off the ground. But we've been profitable kind of since day one. So I've just been like slowly growing the team. But from a finance point of view, I think until I got Triffin, I don't think I knew where I was going financially. And I, was not able to kind of tackle the like day-to-day finance problems. So we're in a different place now than we were kind of like a year or two ago before I kind of joined Triffin.
And did you always have the plan to build because I mean we've known each other for some years, so I do have some context on the background of your story. When we met a few years ago, you were very much weighing up, how the business was going to be funded. Were you going to carry on bootstrapping it, as it's called, which is essentially funding it through profits, or were you going to take investment? Did you have a preference in those early days as to what type of business you wanted to grow and how you wanted to fund it?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of started it and I was hoping it would just make loads of money and everything would be great. But
Which it
obviously
did, right?
It did, and it is now. But it does, I wasn't like financially, I didn't know if I was going to take investment. I thought I needed it because everyone takes investment. That's
Well, they do in e-commerce, yes. 100%, yeah.
and that's kind of where I thought I needed to go. But it was kind of until I really...
Did you want to take investment though, or you just thought you should take investment?
I thought I should take it.
Okay.
I think we will at some point, but I didn't know whether it was that understanding of whether I actually need to or if it's just because everyone else is taking it and I don't think, I think that I need to grow the business that way. But it was, yeah.
So when you first came into Triffin and first onboarded with Triffin, at that time you'd taken a number of debt-based solutions,
Yes.
hadn't you? And that's something that's very common in this industry as well, particularly because they're so easy to access and there's a lot of highly regarded providers supplying them. Mm-hmm. So just tell me about what happened when you onboarded with the Triffin and you saw the actual impact that the debt-based funding was having on the business.
Yeah, so I think at the start, before I kind of got a real good, like I understood my finances, but really to understanding the day-to-day, I don't think I realized the difference between kind of working capital and profitability. So I would figure out my books at the end and be like, oh, I was actually profitable last month, but I could have done something with that money, but not realizing, but actually I was like, why can't I pay all these suppliers at the end of the month? So what I started doing was taking all these kind of really easy loans from Shopify, PayPal, Wayflyer, all these different ones. Sorry if I'm bad-mouthing any of them, they're great. But
well, I think a lot of e-commerce founders find themselves in this situation because the loans are readily available.
So easy, like, literally a press of a button and you're kind of approved for like big chunks of money. But I think what I didn't realize at the time was just the impact it was having, you know what I mean, every single month on the business. It's like I wasn't able to kind of come up with a good payment plan for these. Like it was taking, my sales every single month. So I'd get to the end of the month and I'd be like, I can't pay any of these bills. How? Like I've taken all this money, but I actually
and
am
you are
in a
profitable.
worse.
So you're
And
saying
I'm
I've taken this money, I am profitable, but where is the money?
Yeah, I'm like, where is the money? Why can't I pay? Like, why can't I pay? All these suppliers.
Yeah.
And it was just then you get yourself into a bit of a hole because I was like, oh, there's another one I can take. I'll just take that, and it's really easy cash.
Yes, yeah.
But you can just get yourself into a really bad place because you obviously have suppliers, you've got staff, you've got all these like fixed costs, variable costs, all these things. And if you can't pay them at the end of the month, like you just need to go get more. And it's just like a vicious circle. So when I started with Triffin, I think that was one of the first things we looked at was really like how bad these payment plans actually were and the impact it was having kind of like on a monthly basis. And then if I wanted to go get money...
And had you realised at that point the impact it was having on a monthly basis?
Well, I couldn't figure out. I was like, why don't I have the money? Why is like, I've got this money, but then they're just taking it straight back out anyway. And I'm like, at the end of the month, I still couldn't pay like the bills.
It must have caused a lot of stress.
A lot of stress because they're taking money out every single day from your sales or whatever you're doing, and it's never making its way into your bank. And you've got like VAT payments, like your Meta bills, like all these things that come in big chunks, and then you're looking for somewhere else for this money. So one of the first things that they did with me was just get me off these loans, wean me off these loans, and just get me back to the basics. And then I was able to really kind of get a good handle of like where the business was. And where I needed money and if I needed money. And that was another thing. Like, I just thought I needed money all the time. But actually, a lot of it is about like, they have like a 13-week cash flow. So I can see like a few weeks down the line where there's going to be a gap. And then it's like, okay, then it's up to me to like, talk to suppliers, try figure out payment plans, try kind of like maneuver payments around so I don't need the cash. And like, if I don't have that visibility, then like you can't do it. And I didn't have it before. I had like my cash flow on a spreadsheet and it's not live. You know what I mean? It doesn't update as things come in and out. So it was just a headache. But yeah.
So you were the sort of classic founder. You didn't have a finance team member at that point in time. Had you thought about recruiting a finance team? Did you know it was something you really needed, or did you know the difference? I mean, Triffin call themselves the finance team you don't know that you need.
Yeah.
Did you know the difference they would that sort of service and platform would have for you?
No, like absolutely no idea. Like I thought I was going to get an accountant and, they were going to do my books and, which I kind of had, but it wasn't like that day-to-day kind of management that like moving things around and just really understanding your cash flow and the working capital. So like I had no idea I needed it. And then when I got it, I actually realized, oh, I actually have money. You know what I mean? And I've hired a team. We have an office. Like we're bringing out loads of NPD. And if I didn't have that at my fingertips day to day, I just, you know what I mean? It just doesn't, I wouldn't know. I'd still be in the same same
And it's possible you might have still been in that cycle of the debt-based
100%,
financing.
yeah, which is just really stressful because you keep having to top it up. Like it's really hard. They worked with, like, it was like I was on a drug. They were like trying to wean me off the finance loans. I was like, but I need more. But yeah, I got off them. We're clean.
Fantastic. So, and you've decided, well, for the time being, you also have realised you don't need to raise investment, because I know that was something that took a lot of headspace for you as well, in terms of, am I going to need to fundraise? The fundraising process is then, I mean, everyone says it's like another full-time job, isn't it? So when you realised that actually you didn't need to take investment, you can kind of, if you want to, if you choose to, how did that feel in terms of?
Great. It's just like, you know, I'm able to build the business profitably now, and I'm able to kind of see where, like, if I was to take money, where I would put it. Like, if I'm going to take investment, I want to be able to keep more of the equity. I want it to be like, I want it to show the profitability. So there's just a lot of benefits of like not taking it right now.
Yeah.
We've grown the business really profitably over the last couple of years. And because of that, I've been able to hire, you know what I mean? Like, what do you do when you have all this money? Like, you hire more people, you get more products. We're still able to do all those things. So it's just, it's been a good process.
And if you could pick 3 things that you've learned from about finance since having the visibility that Triffin's given you, that you think other founders would need to know?
I think cash flow. I didn't realize like how, of really having that visibility, that live visibility. Because like, I just think when you don't have that, then you end up just taking money really quickly. So I think it's kind of having that visibility. Also just understanding the unit economics as well. Like, I thought I knew all those things, but it was until I kind of got driven. And also there's kind of like benchmarking that goes on as well, and there's an understanding of what other businesses are doing, and kind of benchmarking that way and trying to make kind of improvements like in the operations or supply chain. So it gave me a lot of things to kind of change within the business, when I got driven.
Brilliant. So coming back to the Victorial, which is a hugely popular product across the country, how does it, I know you get hundreds of messages every month from people saying this product's changed my life. What do they say about it, and how does that make you feel as a founder and entrepreneur? Yeah,
really, people literally say it's changed their life, and they've tried
it
so
saved their
many
marriages,
different things.
Hasn't it?
Yeah. And the reviews, you can go onto our website, like there's thousands of reviews, and I think it's lovely. It's lovely for us. It's lovely for the team. To hear, that we're really making a difference. And that was the whole point of Naydaya, is that like it genuinely was like supporting women and making them feel good about themselves. And that's the whole point. Like, we're not doing it for any other reason, obviously to make money, but you know what I mean? It means so much more when it really helps people. And that was the whole point of it. So when someone, who gets Victorial and they have tried all these other things that they can get from, pharmacies, doctors, and this is actually their go-to product. So that's just, it's great. It makes us feel very, very good.
I mean, what I think you've done brilliantly is really step up to the marketing of Victorial. I mean, obviously it's a vulva product, so it's not something that's that common, and not something that I don't think you ever imagined yourself marketing that. Tell us some of the things you've done that have been really kind of out there and taken courage, that have then helped the product reach more people.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to make it sexy. I've dressed up as a vulva.
I was about to say. I have a Just tell us that. You dressed up as a vulva and went out on the street.
Went out on the street, and, we were trying to raise money raise awareness for intimate dryness and just how common it is. And so I dressed up as a vulva, walked around Oxford Street.
Head to toe, though.
Head to toe, full
head to toe
vulva suit. Just talking to
Where
people on the street.
Where did you get the vulva suit from?
So online, there was like a dress-up store,
Okay.
like for stags.
Okay, right, okay.
Yeah, which was kind of funny. But yes, that's where we got it. And it was great. I mean, it obviously causes, people came in to talk to us, and it was great for, just kind of awareness and just kind of making it, it's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? It's something we all go through. It's kind of not making it too serious. And I think a lot of times, like, things of the vulva are like, in your back cupboard. You don't want anyone to see it. Yeah. Like, whereas we have a beautiful bottle, you're putting it up there with all your skincare, you're proud, and that's the whole point of it. So it's just to kind of, make women still feel good about kind of the issues that they may be experiencing.
And how was that for you as a founder in terms of, picking up that mantle and running with it and being the voice for this category?
Yeah, I mean, it's been really, really fun. And like, we're hoping to do a lot more in that category. And I think it's just great because, I mean, there's some people I think a lot of big businesses won't do it because it's kind of out there.
And I think a lot of founders feel shy about going in front of the camera and talking to camera, and you're brilliant at it.
Yeah, I mean, I've had to learn. It's definitely, I enjoy it. It's fun, and I've so much fun with the team filming all these different things. I mean, we go around regularly with big boards, like talking about...
I always see you on Instagram with a board here or a costume there.
Yeah. So there's a lot of talking, asking people in the street. So yeah, it's fun. I mean, I think we don't take ourselves too seriously. And I think it's great just for the category in general. Like, obviously, we want to sell our products, but I also think there's a huge just education piece and just awareness piece that needs to be kind of brought into the mainstream. And it's not really by kind of big companies. So I feel like we're the ones that can do it, which is nice.
And what do you think the impact has been of your personal brand on the overall success of the brand? I mean, obviously, we know you've got finance under control because you're with Triffin.
Yes.
How's your personal brand impacted the top line growth for the business?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really important for people to understand what goes on behind and who's behind it. There's a lot, you kind of walk into a beauty, like, I don't know, any of the big department stores, and there's loads of it, but I think people gravitate towards kind of more human seeming brands. So I think it's been really good just because we're small and we're trying to like fight through the space. So I think when people understand the brand, the awareness that we're trying to do, the education we're trying to do, I think it's been really good for Naydaya really to kind of understand the person or the people behind it.
Great. So let's talk about the future and what's coming up. I mean, you said you're small, and I know that in our world we have brands that will be doing 500,000 revenue up to over, hundreds of millions. So the question of what's small and what's big is always subjective.
Yeah.
But you have grown very, very fast, haven't you?
Yeah. So we like tripled our revenues last year. We're hoping to do that again this year. But I mean, that has all been since I've had Triffin because, and I'm not just like, it's been so good because I can see where everything's going and I've been able to like manipulate everything in the business. I've been able to hire more people. Just that visibility is just like so important. So I think that's been huge for us. So, sorry, what was the original question?
I was about growth and what's coming up, but just coming back to Triffin, then you're really crediting Triffin with tripling of revenue.
Yeah. Because we've been able to kind of really understand kind of the unit economics, where the costs are, where I've been able to trim down things, where, even things like moving suppliers because things are costing too much, and it's just really seeing all that, and it's just negotiating different payment terms. Like, we don't bring on a new supplier unless we can negotiate a good payment term, because I know coming up that's going to be a problem down the line. So it's just that visibility just has been huge, and it's just that's like how I haven't had to take money and I haven't had to kind of take these bad loans.
So you've really been through a personal learning curve thanks to
Definitely, that. Yeah. I've learned so much in the last year in finance. Like, I feel like I should get a master's.
Well, I know that Frank, who's the founder of Triffin, always says that the best brands are built, have amazing finance operators in them.
Yeah. And do you mean me?
Well, I wonder if you're one of them, if you're becoming one of them.
Well, I think I am. I mean, like, I feel like I'm learning so much, like, from them, but also, I mean, I had I did have a little bit of background in finance, but like not in accounting. And I do think there's so much of unknown when you become a founder of finance and just that day to day. But I think, it's all about kind of like, learning quickly and also having the right platform to support you while you grow.
So what's coming up? What are the future plans for Naydaya?
Yeah, I mean, there's loads of stuff. So we've got, like our D2C is still growing really, really well. We've got a couple of new retailers coming on. We've got loads of new products coming on. And I'm just really glad I can afford them all. Our team's growing. So there's just lots of exciting things for 2025. I think it's going to be a good year.
And in terms of the D2C side of the business, how are you finding it? I mean, I know founders who listen to other founders always want to know how's it all going? How's the meta side of things? What's working? What's not working?
Yeah, so it's going really well. I think the thing, we've hired some like key hires in the last couple of months. So I've got some kind of more senior people looking, like operations was a disaster for us kind of last year. We were running out. So we've got that sorted.
So you had your finance sorted with Triffin, but the supply chain wasn't
Supply
sorted.
chain is now like so squeaky clean and amazing. So that's been great because that's just an area that I didn't love and also just wasn't, and we were running out of stock. And I think that's huge, especially when you're growing kind of at a rate that we're growing. So it's really important. And then just the e-commerce side, the meta is meta. I mean, we could have another podcast about that. But I mean, there's ups and downs, but we've had a pretty stable kind of CPA over the last little while. So we're just scaling that. We're looking at new territories. I mean, we're very much just in the UK at the moment. So all of that is kind of going on behind the scenes.
And every brand wants to know what's the magic button. Have you found a magic button? I think it might be Triffin, actually, from what you said.
Yeah, I mean, Triffin's
like, it's helped you triple your revenue.
Well, finance, like, you can't do it without, you know what I mean? That is like key. So Triffin, I think it's team. I mean, for us, it's really been team. I think when we first started working together, you know, there was like 2 or 3 of us.
Well, I think when I first met you, there was 2 or 3 of you.
Yeah, so I think it's just like building and getting those key people in, and I suppose like leaning into the areas that I'm not good at and really finding the right people for that. And, you know, for me, it was very much like the operations supply chain.
Yeah.
So that, and it just also, just learning, just constantly learning, just like it's all changing so fast. But yeah, the e-commerce side is going well.
And what's your long-term vision for Naydaya?
So I want to, there's still so much we have to do. There's so many areas I want to go into. Like, we're very much kind of postpartum menopause. I really want to get the whole spectrum of women changing bodies. So that's kind of next thing. I think that within the next kind of 3 years, I think, you know, we are just pretty much in the UK. So it's definitely launching out to Europe. Ireland is happening at the moment. So growing it there and growing it in retail, and then just becoming kind of the brand that everyone is talking about, like women's hormones, changing bodies. Because I don't really think the big brands can do it in the same way. I don't think they're going to talk about vulvas and dress up as vulvas. And,
I don't think the big brands are going to dress up as vulvas. No, I don't think they'll take the category on. I don't think. Yeah. You know, they'll see it as something they can be loud about in the way that a founder-led brand can.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we're kind of leaning into that because we know, and it is a growing category, all these things. So I think it's great to see other competitors coming on as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just opening up the category a little bit more. So yeah, I think it's great.
Brilliant. And so coming back to Triffin and the finance thing. So talk through your team structure, because Triffin's the finance team that you didn't know you needed.
Yeah.
And what do you think makes up a great e-commerce team with Triffin as a function of it as well?
So I think where things started really changing for us, so we have an e-commerce manager who really, you know, supports then with the kind of content, the online ads. So I think having that key person is great, just from a reporting point of view and really understanding like everything that's going on.
And how senior are they? Because the structuring of an e-commerce brand is something that people ask about all the time. Is this a head of performance, head of trading person, or is it more of a...
She's pretty senior. Like, she's in charge of the P&L for e-commerce. So she, you know what I mean? It's her job to really kind of make everything work really and get the most out of it. And she kind of leads our marketing team as well and the content team. So she's kind of leading all that. And then I've got a head of supply chain as well. And she, you know, so the two of them work together and really everything is functioning really well with the two of them. And then the finance piece is the next piece. But I only have me and Triffin, and that's all I need at the moment, because I assumed I would have had to hire like a CFO. And I know loads of people that have like fractional people here and there.
And they still don't get the figures daily. They still don't have live figures. They still have to wait till way past the end of the month to even know how they traded in the month previously.
And then like it's just outdated by then. You know what I mean? It's that live like view of the P&L that every single day I can go in and be like, okay, here's where we are. And it's great for my e-commerce manager because she knows exactly how things are working. Like, look at the CPAs, the return on ad spend. Like, she can make changes during the month based on the P&L because that's what she's responsible for. So I think it's great for the whole team for that visibility, and we can just see how things are progressing, and if we're having a bad month, how a sale is going, and we can just make decisions kind of, you know, for upcoming. Whereas I think if you get a P&L for last month in that month,
too late. It's just too late.
It's just reporting.
I know. And that's the case for so many brands. So I think you've got a great structure then that people are going to love. What do you do then? You're now properly a CEO, not kind of running all the teams, all the departments, not wearing 27 hats.
Yeah, and like I do struggle to let go. Because I'm like, I want to do everything. So I'm trying to build out the MPD team now as well, because it's just an area that we haven't had that many MPDs in the last while. So this year...
So you're doing MPD now,
MPD, well, I have somebody as well.
Okay.
Retail is an area, like we've been so focused on direct to consumer. Yeah. So retail is another area which is I'm trying to build out as well. And then just trying to be a founder as well and kind of do things like podcasts, you know what I mean? Try and get in front of lots of different people, because I think at some point I'm going to want money and finance, you know what I mean? At some point. So kind of, I want to get my...
Well, I think you'll be well placed to raise investment when you decide that the time's right for you, because you're running a profitable brand. You've got complete financial transparency.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in a place that many brands would, do anything to get into that position.
Yeah, I mean, just that live data is just the amount of decisions we can make from all parts of the team, is just it's amazing. It's such a small.
So your structure, which I think I want to reiterate, because I think people will really learn from it, is an e-commerce manager with an e-commerce team. You've got your ad operations in-house, have you? Or freelancer?
Freelancing the kind of technical part, but all the content and creative is in-house.
You've got Triffin.
Yeah.
So no need to hire fractional FDs or any of these people, or have someone on payroll in accounts. You've got Triffin, you've got the live data.
Yeah.
You've got new product development.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, HR, I'm HR. So.
Yeah.
but yeah, that's kind of the team at the moment. And then, the retail side of things is where I'm kind of looking to hire in the next little while. So just to support that and support any retailers that come on. So, yeah.
Great. Well, it's amazing to see you now 5 years on from when we met. I know. And I think when we very first met, you were you changed the name of the brand, didn't you?
Yes.
Right in the early days. So it was in such its infancy.
Yeah.
And I remember you feeling all those things that founders feel like, do I need to raise money? Do I need to do this? What am I going to do about this? What am I going to do about that?
Yeah.
Not, and obviously you had big plans, but now they're actually really coming to fruition.
Yeah, and I can really see where we're going now, whereas before I was like, do I need money? I'll just take another loan.
So looking back over that time, what do you think some of the most important things are that you could share with other founders that you've learned, or that you wish you'd done differently, or that you think you did really, really well?
So I think, just in general, is just the unknown. I feel like you have to make so many decisions as a founder based on things you don't know. So I think it's being comfortable with that. I mean, we had some financial difficulty in the beginning as we changed the name. We got into a number of court cases. So I had to pay for all of those. You know what I mean? It's that kind of unknown, unforeseen circumstances that come up in the early days that maybe you don't have all the trademarks that you need. Something to make sure you get.
But you're not the first, you're not the last. I mean, that's very common.
Yeah.
It's the sort of thing actually people should expect to happen, because there's always something coming down the line that you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and it's expensive.
Yeah.
I think it's, and lean into things that you're not good at. I think one of the biggest things for us was to hire just a really good operations team, because it was just falling apart and we were spending so much money. We're over-ordering, under-ordering, and that's when you start getting yourself into quite a lot of financial difficulty if that is not on point. So that was big for us as well.
Great. I love the fact that Triffin and just having financial clarity has been such a huge part of your journey.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, it's been so it's great. If anyone asks me my numbers, I know them off by heart because I see them every day.
That's brilliant, Fiona. Any final words of wisdom for the people watching today?
No, just get Triffin.
Get Triffin. Get Triffin. And 5 years on, this is the situation you'll find yourself in.
Yeah.
Running a profitable brand where you've got full visibility and you've grown three times your revenue in the past year. I mean, it's a fantastic outcome, Fiona. I think you've done brilliantly. I think it's amazing. It's brilliant to hear all of that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fiona, for your time. I have to say, I am so chuffed to see you here today and hear this journey, because I've known you throughout. I've been lucky enough to know you throughout some of it. And I think it's amazing how well you've done. And it's fantastic that you are literally growing at this pace without investment, profitably, with clear financial visibility from Triffin, because that's what will enable you to do a go to market for a raise and then really achieve your financial goals that you've got set up. So we have to wrap it here. And unfortunately, we don't have time for questions today, but please make sure that you follow Fiona Toomey on LinkedIn.
Yep.
Do you want to share any other details?
And Naydaya.
Don't
give Naydaya a follow, yep.
Make sure you check out Fiona's hero product, the Vitriol, and the Triffin team will be in touch with people who've signed up to watch today just to answer any questions and let you know more about their product and how it can help you achieve what Fiona's achieved, which I'm sure is what everybody listening here today would want to achieve. Thank you so much, Fiona.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.